I go work like a doctor. When I rock the mic, you got to like the way I operate.
I'm all choked up.
Well, rusty guys.
LidLine Sports. I'm Granville Emerson. You can probably tell I've been eating too much. Like I gained 5 pounds or 10. Anyway, LidLine Sports. I'm Granville Emerson, along with my co-host Renault, Pepe and Lil O Stevenson. Man, I don't know what's happening, man. I'm just gaining weight. I've been working out like every day, man, like 4 days a week, man. Maybe it's just the consumption. Anyway, breaking news I want to get to right off the top. The NFL has 37 positive COVID cases after testing today. That's pretty high. For the 2-week period entering Thanksgiving, they only had 27 cases. Now they have 37 just over the weekend. So now they're talking about putting protocols in place to help reduce the spread of COVID amongst NFL players. And they are also have a case of the Omicron variant that was found when they tested the Washington football team, one of their employees. They said that employee did not have a lot of contact with players or football personnel on the field, and so they don't expect to have any other players test positive for the Omicron variant because of that particular person. They put in more stringent testing or whatever protocols after Thanksgiving, which I feel like does not make any sense to me. You guys help me with this. Why would you put it in more stringent protocols after Thanksgiving as opposed to before Thanksgiving?
You got me, bro. I mean, you know, people are going to go home and see your family, so you would think that there'd be more, stringent on beforehand, like you said.
Yeah. Oh, you have any thoughts?
I agree. I mean, the top people who run all this stuff in professional sports, this is something that should have been pre-planned and pre-discussed going into the holidays way beforehand. So, yeah, because it's not just the NFL, it's the NBA too.
Yeah,
Right.
well, I guess the thought may be, and now that I kind of think it through, the thought may be that, players are going to be around people that there's a higher rate of catching it during the holidays because you're around more people. So
Right.
they figure that when they come back, their protocols should be more stringent in terms of testing and mask wearing and social distancing and what have you. I think that makes sense. That's how I can make sense of it. So anyway, according to Dan Graziano of ESPN, one source told him that Monday's positives included one case of the Omicron variant in Washington, and that at least 5 teams, Atlanta Falcons, Detroit Lions, Minnesota Vikings, Chicago Bears, and Washington, have entered the league's enhanced COVID-19 protocols, which require daily testing regardless of vaccination status, mandatory masking at team facilities, and other stringent measures. I don't know what the heck those stringent measures are if you can't define them or list them. But
And wouldn't those opponents that they just played, wouldn't they factor in as well? Like Chicago just played Green Bay, Atlanta just played the Carolina Panthers, Denver just played Detroit, so on and so forth.
Yeah, I would say so, but I'm just convinced that you don't catch coronavirus during competitive contests, especially those that are outdoors. And that's the only way I can rationalize the Seahawks not having a positive case all last year. And having played teams that on Monday, a bunch of them tested positive. So they were exposed, but none of them caught it. Right. Also, the league is letting players know that the original vaccine, whatever they got, Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, doesn't have quite the effectiveness after 6 months So they're asking them now to go get a booster shot. And I just want to say and continue to say that I hope that people will go get vaccinated. I just believe in it. And I know I've talked ad nauseum with some people online who tell me that I'm being a guinea pig and I'm being a whatever. All I know is I've been exposed to the coronavirus 4 times directly, and I've got 4 negative tests. And so I know the vaccine is working for me. So I don't want the coronavirus. I ain't trying to get the coronavirus. And the best way for us to get through this whole nonsense is for as many people to get it or get the vaccine. You either got to get it and get the natural antibodies, or you get the antibodies through the vaccine. I don't want to get it. And so, I mean, heck, I got that booster shot, and man, I had the chills I had to go to sleep. When I woke up, I was fine, but I was like, ooh, I was feeling terrible. I had the chills, and it wasn't thrills with it. It was tough. On to more of the NFL Pep.
Yes.
What you working with?
Okay, well, last week, the NFL, and more specifically Denver Broncos, lost former Bronco and New York Jet, Demaryius Thomas. He was found dead in his home in Georgia. Early reports indicated, and this was through his cousin, that he had a medical episode and passed away. It was reported also by the same relative that he'd been having seizures for about 1.5 years or so. So, he was only 33 years old, due to be 34 actually this month, which coincidentally, Russell Wilson just turned 33 himself. So, that gives you an idea of how young he was. Sunday, the Broncos sent out 10 players to start the game on offense. And as you know, it's an 11-on-11 game. And so what they did was they sent out their 10, and they left out the X receiver, which is what Demaryius Thomas' primary position was. That person remained on the bench, and Denver took a. Thank you, and thank you, Alexa. And then so it was, yeah. Anyway,
What I'm trying to tell you, Pep.
She said I don't have an answer for that, and I wasn't even talking to her. I should have turned her off. My bad, guys. Anyway, Denver took a delay of game penalty, which Detroit promptly declined, which was a classy move on both teams. So our heartfelt prayers and condolences to the family of Demaryius Thomas and the Broncos organization. Also, if you guys remember, I think the Seattle Seahawks had tried to sign Demaryius Thomas when he was a free agent at one time, and I think that's when he went to the Jets instead. If you guys remember that. And also,
2 or 3 years ago, right?
Yeah. Also, Demaryius Thomas has broken my heart personally twice. The first time he did is he scored a touchdown on my beloved Steelers in overtime in a playoff game. It was the first play of the gosh darn game, or overtime, and it was thrown by guess who threw that touchdown pass to Demaryius Thomas?
Tim Tebow.
Yes. That definitely broke my heart. And the second time he broke my heart was, well, when I learned that he passed away last week. So
yeah, that's very sad. Prayers go out to Demaryius Thomas, his family, and his friends.
Yeah.
Prayers for strength and comfort during this time of bereavement.
Absolutely. So, guys, is Tom Brady a running quarterback?
He has to.
Because yesterday he ran for a first down in the first quarters against the Buffalo Bills Sunday. And head coach, and after the game, of course, which Tampa Bay won in overtime, 33-27, head coach Bruce Arians was asked about it, and he promptly said, "That's about enough of that ish."
Yeah.
He said, "Well, all right then." So yeah, no more running for him. But speaking of running quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson suffered a sprained ankle early yesterday, and the Ravens lost to the Browns. So head coach John Harbaugh plans to start Jackson next week. As it's turned out, it's a mild sprain, not the dreaded high ankle sprain, which knocks you out for about 6 to 8 weeks on average. So right now it's tentative that he's going to start Sunday. I'm sure that the Baltimore Ravens medical team will be on double duty, double time this week. You can count on that.
Now let's put some dirt on it.
Well, just get some testing, So finally, did you guys watch the Chicago Bears and Green Bay Packers game last night, Sunday night?
Not much of it.
Huh?
So not much of it.
Yeah. Well, during, of course, they panned the crowd, and they panned the crowd, and this guy looked exactly, I mean, a true doppelganger, right? Aaron Rodgers, there was a guy that looked just like him, and he saw the camera. He gave him that Aaron Rodgers smirk, and he pointed at the camera, as if he was, Aaron Rodgers. Of course, he knew what he was doing. He knows who he looks like. So, if Aaron Rodgers had a little baby, that baby would have been like, "Daddy, Dada." No, that's not your daddy. That's for sure. But anyway, they need to get that guy, Aaron Rodgers together somehow, some way. Maybe put him on the practice field and put him in uniform and see if they can fool the coaches or whatever. Have him on the sideline. I don't know, but I think that would be pretty hilarious because that dude looked just like.
Yeah, his beard's too full though. He gotta.
Well, yeah.
Turn it down. If he turned it down, he would look just like him.
Yeah, he sure did, man. But man, wow, that was man.
He's a doppelganger.
Yeah, for sure.
But there are a lot of people that impersonate famous people, lookalikes and what have you. He definitely would be a good body double for Aaron Rodgers.
Absolutely.
Maybe Aaron Rodgers could have got a vaccination card from him.
Oh boy. Yeah, goes.
Pep,
good job, Daniel. Yes.
What is going on in the American Football Conference? I mean, we got the Houston Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars at 2-11, and the Jets at 3-10, and everybody else around the same. Nobody want to win.
I know.
Win in the AFC.
Buffalo went from AFC leader to what do they call that? Oh man, trying to get in. What do they call it? I forget. Oh, in the hunt. Thank you. In the hunt. They went from AFC leader to in the hunt. That's not a good look.
I mean, nobody wants to win. A few weeks ago, it looked like the Baltimore Ravens were the talk of the league, and everybody was talking about them going to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Then it was the Tennessee Titans, which I predicted that they would go to the Super Bowl until their running back got hurt.
Right.
Derrick Henry.
Yep.
And then the Indianapolis Colts came on strong for a few weeks, and they acted like they wanted to do something, beating people. And so now you got the Patriots at 9-4, leading the AFC East. The AFC North, Baltimore's 8-5, but their schedule for the next 4 games is tough.
Yeah, they got the Packers next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got the Browns at 7-6, the Bengals at 7-6, and the Steelers at 6-6. And as bad as they've been, they're still in it.
Yeah, you ain't got to tell me. Yep.
I kind of like that it's like this. I mean, yes, there's been inconsistent play from the AFC, but I like that there's no clear-cut favorite.
Yeah, it's kind of entertaining, right?
Yeah, I kind of like it like this.
You're not a bookie, because I guarantee you're driving bookies crazy.
Yeah, that's for sure.
His driving C's are crazy.
Yeah.
You see the commercial with what's the dude's name? The comedian he Caesar?
JB Smooth.
JB Smooth. Those commercials are funny to me.
Yeah, I like them.
So do I.
especially because he got the Manning brothers in, all of them.
I know. He said, "Are you Connor?" It's like
he said, "Who's my favorite?"
You dress well or something like that.
Yeah.
Michael Carter. Nobody even mentioned the Dolphins yet. I didn't even got there yet.
Hey, but they're in the hunt.
At 6 and 7, they're still in the hunt, Mike.
Yeah.
They're still in the hunt. They came back. Well, the other team, Pep, you talked about being a leader and now in the hunt. The Miami Dolphins were looking like dogs, and now they're back in the hunt.
Right. They were 1 and 7, and they won, 5 in a row. So
Yeah.
kudos to them. And Tua's been playing well.
Tua has been playing well. So, I was on Tua's bad side, or he was on my bad side. And now Tua looks like he's a decent quarterback again. So that goes to show you, too, and I always say this, it's hard to play hurt.
Yeah.
And it's hard to be yourself when you're injured.
Right.
And so we always have to, take that with a grain of salt when players are injured and not really, cast any dispersions on them.
Yeah. And I'm guilty of that big time.
Who?
I said I'm guilty of that big time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we'll talk about who later, I'm sure.
Yeah, we will. If Otis gives us enough time at the end of the show, we will. we knew that we would talk about it, though, so you got to give us 5 minutes to talk about it. But we ain't talked about the NBA in about 2 months since I've been on the show, so we got to have some NBA talk. Matter of fact, we're gonna start early before the break this time. Oh,
right.
What's up with the Las Vegas Raiders, though?
They're one of the teams you can't figure out. You can't figure them out, and you can't figure out Cincinnati, right? I mean, that's 2 right off the bat that I can think of. Or the Chargers even. You might throw them in there. Those 3 teams, I can't figure out from week to week what they're going to do. The Raiders beat the Cowboys in Dallas, but get smoked. I mean, absolutely Newported by Kansas City. It's like, wow.
How about the New England Patriots beating Buffalo, only passing the ball 3 times?
That game I watched.
You know what? They read the weather report. The weather report said that they were going to be 60-mile-an-hour gusts throughout the night. So they put that into their game plan, and I'll give them kudos. It worked. People are slamming Mac Jones. They're slamming Mac Jones for only throwing 3 passes. Well, he's a rookie, so he's going to follow what the coach says, right? He's not Tom Brady. He ain't going to just improvise. He's going to do what he's told.
So I remember the scouting report was out on Buffalo that they weren't a physical football team.
Yeah.
So the Patriots just bullied them. Oh,
yeah, that's what it looked like. Just like he said, I mean, Mac only had to throw the ball 3 times. They were literally running I formation, goal line.
Well, these teams know each other, right? I mean, they're in the same division. They played for years and years and years. They know who they are.
Yeah. I guess. So anyway, so now the New England Patriots with the rookie quarterback are leading the AFC East.
Yep.
And they have the best record along with Kansas City, who was also terrible to start the year. And they've won, 6 games in a row now?
Yeah. Yeah, they started off 3-4, now they're 9-4.
So the demise of Patrick Mahomes was greatly exaggerated.
Greatly.
And just like I said, my friend who's a Chiefs fan, Jillian Turner, was telling me that the fans in Kansas City was ready to run Mahomes out of town.
Yeah.
That sounds like the fans in Seattle talking about we need to get rid of Russell Wilson. And all I got to say to this, when have you ever heard of a team that got rid of their franchise quarterback while he was still in their prime? It ain't never happened. It ain't never happened.
People misunderstand, especially in today's NFL. It is so hard to find a quarterback.
Yes. Yes.
Let alone a star quarterback.
Yeah, Chicago's been looking for a quarterback since their inception.
It's so bad. It's so bad. It makes the whole Colin Kaepernick thing ridiculously bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there are quarterbacks in the league that are terrible. And you can't tell me that Colin Kaepernick is not better than them. Even now, he's probably better than them.
Yeah.
And they're still trying to put them out there. The Dallas Cowboys is, what are they, on cruise control or something?
Man, I think they've become so predictable offensively.
Right. Yeah. Ryan Clark held on Dak Prescott today. You know, said he said this Dak Prescott is not going to win a championship the way he's playing right now.
Ryan Clark on ESPN?
Yes.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that. And anyway, I don't know. Like I said, they have a big lead in their division.
Yeah, they're going to win.
They're just behind Tampa Bay at 10-3, and the Cardinals were 10-2, and look like they're about to go 10-3.
Yeah,
the Rams, and I'd actually need the Rams to win this game because I don't want them going into Sunday's game against the Seahawks with a win. I mean, with a loss.
Right.
They need to just play hard to get a win.
Yeah.
So psychologically, I'd like to see the Rams beat the Cardinals, and they're up 27-13 with 3 minutes or so left to go in the third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. Everybody's still alive in the NFC as well, except for the Bears and the
Lions.
The Carolina Panthers they're alive like the Seahawks by the hair of their chinny chin at 5-8. Yeah. Detroit Lions got a win while we were gone.
Right.
Last week. So we got to give a shout out to the Lions for getting up off that goose egg.
Yeah, they should have 2 wins, and both of them should have been against the Vikings.
Well, woulda, coulda, shoulda. They only got 1, but it's still better than none.
That's
right. Is that right, O? Let me do this real quick. Oh, to the NBA, what you talking about? What you talking about, O? What's happening in the NBA? The Phoenix Suns is blazing it up, huh?
Yeah, man. I think we've won 20 out of the last 21 games.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're under investigation.
Yeah. See, we talked about that. I said, that these guys are going to rally around, and there's going to be a spark.
You did.
Good call.
But yeah, them and the Golden State Warriors are neck and neck. They played each other twice 2 weeks ago. Those were both fun matchups. Devin Booker got hurt in the first game, and the Suns were still able to pull out a dub in Golden State, and then took one on the chin in Golden State a few days later without Devin Booker. So, I mean, right now, those are still the 2 best teams in the NBA, and they showed it.
Within, 2 of the all-time three-point record?
Yeah, I was just about to get to that. Yeah, Steph Curry, I think he's like in year 11 or 12. He's already on the brink of breaking Ray Allen's career record for most threes in a career. He was 10 before today, so he must have hit 8. Sheesh. He is now 2 shy away. Wouldn't have been surprising if he could have broke that or tied it today. But Ray Allen, I don't know if you guys saw, he kind of had a little I wouldn't say a smart comment, but when Ray Allen was asked, is it still fair to say that he's the best, or is it fair to say that Steph Curry is the best shooter to ever play? And he had a comment of saying that it's all, I can't think of the word he said. Basically, he was saying that's how you want to look at it, and he said it's still fair to call himself the best shooter in the NBA. Is there some truth to that?
Ray has the prettiest jumper ever in the NBA.
Uh-huh.
That's for sure. I don't know, Pep.
Well, I'll say this. Shooters always, if you're a good shooter, you're going to think you're the best. Because I remember there was a time when I know I was a really good shooter, and when I was hot, I knew that if I got the ball, I was going to be the one to hit the shot. And Ray Allen, if you've ever seen the game with him at Phoenix when the Sonics played at the Phoenix Suns, and he was just ridiculous in that game. But you know what? I'm talking about one game. Steph Curry is ridiculous in a lot of games. I've seen a lot of games where Steph Curry was just off the chain stupid. So, Ray Allen, I understand his sentiment, but I gotta say it's Steph.
Yeah, I can't say who the best shooter is.
It's hard.
Steph Curry is the best shooter of this era.
Yep.
And I'll say that because it's just a different era. There's a different emphasis on the three ball. And I was there at Key Arena the night Ray Allen broke the 3-point shooting record in a season. I think it was 253 threes. And that dude was filling it up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had never seen anybody shoot like that up until that point. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe Fred Brown, but he didn't really have the three like it is now. So if you look at it like that, look at the evolution of it. Downtown Freddie Brown, of course, given that nickname, he's a 3-point shooter, right?
Yeah.
And one of the purest shooters I've ever seen, Fred Brown.
Yeah.
If Fred Brown played in this era, he would be Steph Curry.
Right.
Right? With the emphasis on the three ball. And it's just such a different emphasis. Like in practice today, one of our kids, Braden Smith, we're doing the situation drill, right? With 4 seconds left on the clock. This dude came down and pulled up from Dame Dollar distance and hit it. I was calling him Dame Dollar in high school. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just a different emphasis, and dudes is practicing it now. And so if dudes like Ray Allen, if he was practicing shooting deep like Steph and putting the emphasis on the three, if the emphasis on the three like it is right now, remember Ray Allen played with Shaq back then. You're throwing the ball into Shaq, and Shaq is actually dunking, as opposed to now when big dudes get to the rim and throw the ball back out for a three.
Yes.
You see a dude drive to the rim and have a layup and throw it back out for a three.
Yep.
So it's just a different emphasis. And Ray Allen's one of the best shooters I've ever seen. Steph Curry. That jumper is sports science. Ray Allen's jumper is sports science. Look it up on YouTube. It breaks down his whole jumper.
And that's pretty much that's what Ray Allen said. He said it was subjective. And I actually 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I knew if I talk long enough, you come up with the word. Wait, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to come back with more Lil O on the NBA. We're going to figure out what his power rankings are this week for show. Don't go away. You are listening and watching LidLine Sports on Rainier Avenue Radio .world, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, Spotify, wherever you can find it. Listen to it, watch it. We'll be right back after these messages. Don't go anywhere, because we got more on the NBA and some other stuff. We'll be right back.
Rainier Avenue Radio.
And welcome to our live studio audience for another exciting edition of Did You Know? And here we go with round one. Did you know?
COVID vaccine is free and easy to get. You don't need insurance or an appointment to get your vaccine. Vaccines are available at many locations near you.
And now we're going to double the value. Did you know?
The COVID-19 vaccine is always free of cost. You can visit pharmacies, community health centers, and other health providers in your neighborhood.
And now for the lightning round. Did you know?
The Delta variant of COVID is a mutation that has health experts worried because it's twice as contagious.
Then for our finale. Did you know?
The best way to protect yourself from the COVID Delta variant is to get fully vaccinated. Get your vaccine today.
Find out more at kingcounty.gov/vaccine. Did you know?
Join Rainier Avenue Radio from 5 to midnight for Sunday evening sound sessions. Jazz from the cabinets from Big Poppy.
That's right. It's time once again for Jazz from the Cabinets with Big Poppy.
Sergio Lacour's Love Lines.
It's Sergio's Love Lines with Sergio Lacour. Go to the phone line. Tell her who we talking to.
Sage Prince, Just My Opinion.
This is Sage, and that's just about going to do it for the first half of Just My Opinion.
K-Fox Nightbeat with Nasty Ness Rodriguez.
The beat of the Fox. K-Fox Night Beat, Nasty Ness.
You know what? You're going to listen from 5 to midnight. Just turn it on and don't stop. DJ Alibaba. the underground surround sound start time with Paul
Thanks
Pearson.
for tuning in. My name is Paul Pearson.
Sunday
And
evening
this is
sound
Start Time.
sessions on Rainier Avenue Radio. Trust me, you'll be listening the entire time from 5 to midnight. Sunday evening, your sound session on Rainier Avenue Radio.
Atlantic Street Center has been serving the children, youth, and families of the Seattle King County area since 1910. We partner with families and communities to raise healthy, successful children and youth through services including counseling, early learning, youth development, domestic violence, and education support for school-aged children. Committed to serving the African American community, Atlantic Street Center provides services and support for all marginalized people. Learn more at AtlanticStreetCenter.org. Here with the Rainier Avenue Radio Traffic Update. You can listen to us in your car 24/7 anytime by downloading the free TuneIn app. Once you do, search Rainier Avenue Radio. And remember, do not curse out your fellow drivers. This has been your Rainier Avenue Radio Traffic Update.
Hey, this is Granville Emerson, and you're listening and watching LidLine Sports on Rainier Avenue Radio.world, Facebook Live, Twitch, and YouTube, and our other podcast platforms. With my co-host, Renault Pepe Bean, and Otis, Lil O Stevenson, who was educating us on the happenings in the association known as the NBA. Oh? You're muted. That mute gets you after the break every time, bro.
Gosh, man, I gotta work on that every time. Kind of piggybacking on what you were talking about with what's going on in the NFL. Same thing that's going on in the NBA with COVID. There's been kind of a peak after Thanksgiving, and it hit the Chicago Bulls harder than any other NBA team. And they will now be postponing games on Tuesday and Thursday due to them having 10 players in COVID protocol. 10. And to them, that they would have to scramble to find bodies to be able to suit up the 9 players, I believe, 8 to 9 players. I think we have to have suit up in an NBA game. Those players do include Zach LaVine out of Baltimore, Washington, DeMar DeRozan, so 2 of the 3 best players, plus a bevy of other players also as well. The Charlotte Hornets got hit with COVID as well too. Last week they had 5 players in COVID protocol. So just like you said, G, a lot of these guys are coming back from their Thanksgiving holiday and has caught COVID bugs and then probably spread it over to teammates as well. So just like you said, players need to get vaccinated. Kyrie Irving, if you're listening, this is exactly why, because of things like this. COVID is spreading and it spreads fast once it gets in the locker room. And it's just unfortunate because now you're watching all these NBA games and you're missing 2 to 3 stars and things like that, plus all the injuries as well. I know Pep, you say it, or G, you say it all the time. Basketball season don't really start until after February. Boy, the NBA season has been a doozy to watch. Besides a few games here and there, turn on the TV, Joel Embiid's not playing. LeBron's out. Half the players got COVID, and man, it just sucks right now. I can't even get up to watch a Suns game besides the Golden State Warriors games that we just played. So, it's been tough. Yeah. Some other news. So the deadline for players can now be traded who signed a contract this summer has officially been lifted. We are now starting to see a lot of interest more in players like Ben Simmons, who we all know has been disgruntled and has not played a game for the Philadelphia 76ers. Name teams that have contacted the 76ers now include the Boston Celtics, who we know could use him, the LA Lakers, which I was kind of surprised to hear that name because I wonder who would that involve in order for Ben Simmons to get there. I mean, of course, Russell Westbrook, but I don't. I mean, I couldn't see Russell Westbrook wanting that to happen, even though he doesn't get to make a decision. The Portland Trailblazers, which was a name that we've heard pretty much towards the end of the summer, the Portland Trailblazers have made it known that they are not trading Damian Lillard. So if that would happen, it clearly would have to be a trade around CJ McCollum. And then the New York Knicks, who we know does need a point guard. They did. Tom Thibodeau has been without Kemba Walker in the rotation for the last few weeks now. Where would you guys like this? What would be the best fit for Ben Simmons out of those teams that I just named?
Well, I think I know it's been talked about, but off the top of my head, I would think the best case scenario that could possibly happen is him getting traded for Dame and going to Portland and Dame going to Philly. Dame would love that.
I think he would.
And I think it solves two issues because Dame's asking for a new contract and they don't want to. He just signed a new contract, so they're not going to renegotiate his contract.
I think he's up for extension after this summer.
Right.
I think the Blazers.
Oh, he's up for extension after this summer?
Yes.
So he's trying to sign before?
He wants another max extension.
Okay, yeah. He's too old to get a max extension.
Do you think Portland will give it to him with new management?
Don't you think he's too old to get a max extension?
In today's NBA, no. This will be his last max.
Well, then he becomes Tobias Harris because his game is gonna decline by the end of that contract, and it's gonna be guaranteed.
Oh no, I agree with you, but we just saw Chris Paul at 37 years old get a max contract. So
that's Chris Paul.
Today's NBA.
That's Chris Paul. What is Dame even doing this year? He ain't doing nothing.
Oh no, he's not playing great at all.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to small franchises and keeping like their star players, they're willing to do whatever. But I do agree. I do see with them having now new management and firing the old GM. Them at this crossroads. I hear you though.
Yeah, the monkey wrench in that whole deal is CJ McCollum is out now, isn't he?
Yes. Yep. Lapse long.
How long is he out?
There's no timetable. This is not a short-term injury though. I know that.
Pep, your thoughts on that deal?
Well, my thoughts are Philly cannot trade him to New York or Boston because that would be silly. Because then you'd be seeing him all the time. You'd be in your division.
Yeah.
So that would be dumb. Portland would be good because he'd be far away from Philly as possible. And Dame is trying to get out of Portland without saying he's trying to get out of Portland because he's asking for $100 and some odd million for 2 years. Okay, and and he's not playing well, so he's trying to get out of there without saying it and being the bad guy because he's been loyal, so-called loyal this whole time. Right, and he's always said that he loves Portland, he wants to stay there, but now things have changed, and he wants out, but he doesn't want to be the bad guy. So, I don't know who else. I mean, would you trade him straight up for Dame, Ben Simmons, or would Portland even do that?
No, I wouldn't. I mean, if I was Portland, I would need some additional compensation.
Yeah,
I would give them some additional compensation because they got to get rid of Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
Right. If I were Portland, I'd ask for Matisse Thybulle as well.
Yeah, I mean, you can ask for what you want to ask for, but they definitely need some additional compensation. It's not a straight up deal.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
And the main trigger in this trade for getting rid of Ben Simmons, they want a player who can help them now compete for a championship.
But see, that's what I said. I think Ben Simmons helps Portland. Yes. I think that he brings an element to the Blazers that they need to get over the hump.
I definitely see a different dynamic. I don't think with the team that they have right now surrounding him, no. But I do think it's a great building block if we're going to not necessarily restart, but retool. And if we're getting rid of Damian Lillard, there's no better piece out there to get than a young Ben Simmons who's already in contract. Definitely.
I feel like he adds. I mean, they're not going anywhere with Damon Lillard. That's been proven. They're not going anywhere. So
Nope.
they can stay where they are in that mediocrity and losing in the playoffs when they get there, or they can go get Ben Simmons and build around him.
Yeah. And like I said, I think it's the small market mindset of feeling pressure to have to keep your star player because
But
you
Ben
don't
Simmons
get
is
him
a star too.
Exactly. You're right.
He's a star too, and I think he has the opportunity to me to become a bigger star than Damian Lillard in Portland.
And I think he meshes well with how Chauncey Billups coaches. Chauncey Billups is more of a defensive-minded coach.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because he does so many things. I mean, he doesn't shoot that well, but he does everything else.
Exactly.
And so he would definitely be the playmaker. They need a playmaker.
Yeah.
Right.
In my mind. I mean, that's just me. That's just my thoughts. I would make that trade in a heartbeat.
Yep. And then, and CJ wouldn't have to handle the ball as much. Because CJ's a good ball handler, but when you have two guys handling the ball, it's not cohesive.
Yeah.
Right? Because Damian's not setting up CJ, but Ben could be that guy to set up CJ and give him a more opportunity.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. I think it's a good trade for both of them. Once trade deadline is starting to loom, I do think we'll see and hear more about Damian Lillard possibly being on the move. And
it's the only one that makes any sense to me.
Definitely. We're talking about all these injuries. Pale's young star, Zion Williamson. We're talking about him again. Another player who has not played all season yet.
He probably won't.
Yeah, he suffered a decline in his rehab process on his foot that he fractured in the offseason. He was starting to ramp up on-court activities a couple weeks ago, and it just came out a couple days ago that he will now be sidelined again and will not be doing any basketball activities. The pictures are circulating left and right. Is he in shape? Is he overweight? Whatever the issue is, you got David Griffin, who has not really spoke up about it. You've got the head coach being fired there last year. And you also have the Pelicans now being one of the worst teams in the NBA again. And there's just a lot going on. And to have your star player, a young player at that, not play a game yet, and somebody who's always hurt, how concerned are you right now if you're the owner of the Pelicans?
Quite. I mean, I'm hitting the panic button almost.
What'd you say, G?
I said Pep.
Okay.
Yeah, if I'm him, I'm about ready to hit the panic button because Zion's the guy, right? And he's missed more games than he's played. He's missed 86 games and he's played in 85.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it's not getting any better. Now, are those pictures? Now, which pictures are correct? Oh, are the ones that showing him in fat suits and looking all crazy, or is it the one where he looks in shape? I don't know which one is right.
I don't know. And they're not, like I said, it seems like he's staying out of the media, and it seems like that's for reason. So I don't know.
It's probably the ones of him in shape. Okay. It's just that the internet always tries to put out nonsense.
Yeah.
And so it's probably the one that he's in shape. I would imagine that they've got him with a nutritionist and a trainer, and his foot just is not healed the way it should for the rigors of the NBA. Mm-hmm. So they're holding him out longer. I'm not hitting the panic button yet because he's young. This would be his senior year of college?
Yep.
Yeah. So he's got a lot of time to play basketball. The only concern I would have is fiscally that I'm paying him to rehab, did not play. But I think he'll be fine. And I think that the other aspect of it is dudes need to make sure that they are really healed before they come back, or just keep coming back and re-injuring themselves. So it's kind of like Klay Thompson. Like, nobody's giving up on Klay Thompson.
The style of play coming apart?
Yeah, but like I said, he's still young and he has an injury, and sometimes injuries take longer to come back than other injuries. And so I don't like I said, I'm not hitting the panic button yet. If he's out again next year, okay, yeah, I am. But I just said get it right, get it, so he's not re-injuring it and having to play injured, and then have off-season surgery again. No, just get it all done right now. That's the way I look at it.
Okay.
And it's not like they actually need him right now. They ain't contending.
Nope.
No.
So I was like, why would I come back and play for some bums hurt? Like, no, let me get myself right. That's just me.
No, that part I definitely do agree. No rush. We're not competing for anything. The team that we put together this year is not successful to start off. So, yeah, take your time.
Power rankings?
Lil O's power rankings. Let's get to it. I think you missed. I put the Suns number 1 last week or a couple weeks ago when you were gone. Very rightfully so. Now you can't say anything because they have the best record in the NBA.
You know what, though? The Suns are the number 1 team in the NBA. I must admit that they are, and they're looking really, really good.
Yeah.
And the other day they played Golden State. Miles Bridges just locked up Steph Curry. So I need to see the rematch. That's got to be. I can't wait to see that rematch because everybody's talking about how Bridges locked up Curry. Curry had to come back with an answer.
They rematched a few days after.
Did they?
Yeah, Steph went off as he should. He should have won.
I'm mad I missed it, man. This basketball season that I'm in has got me going, y'all. I'm like, I feel like it's at the end of, because we had basketball in the spring last year.
Yeah.
And now we're right back at it again. I feel like I'm at the end of the season, and it just started. Matter of fact, on that note, I will be in California. We play at 6 p.m. next Monday night, so I'm not going to be on the show. Just let y'all know. I should not miss any more until February. And then in February, playoffs start. There's no telling what nights we play. But I should be straight after this upcoming Monday. Yeah. But, okay, I missed that one. So who's number 2?
Number 2, followed right behind them. Only half game back is Golden State Warriors. Playing great basketball still because Curry will probably break a 3-point record on Wednesday.
Has Curry been forcing it? He's been trying too hard?
I think, especially against the Philadelphia 76ers, you get all this media hype on it. He clearly fell for it, and he shot atrocious.
Well, he had Thibault out there trying not to let him get it, too.
Yeah, and he did a gret job on him defensively as well. But I think that was more mentally on Steph Curry than it was Matisse. No disrespect. Utah Jazz been consistent. They moved back into 3 after winning.
That's quiet as kept. That's your real team right there.
7-game win streak. I think that's what thrust them to 3. I did have Brooklyn, so I did a little research. The Brooklyn Nets at number 4, playing consistent basketball as well. Kevin Durant just went off. 51. Mm-hmm. And the Milwaukee Bucks finally getting healthy. They have creeped into second place in the Eastern Conference, and they are number 5. And I had to give honorable mention to the 16-12 Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah.
Playing
great basketball. And who did I say should have been the first pick in the draft? Evan Mobley, and he's killing.
Yeah, and shout out to their coach as well over there, JB Bickerstaff.
Shout out to JB.
Yeah, I didn't see that whole big lineup working, but it's working very well. Darius Garland is taking another step in the right direction. So is Jared Allen. They're defending. I hope they make the playoffs, man. I really do.
Yeah, well, I like your power ranks this week, man. You get an A from me. I will not disparage it. Pep, you got anything on those power rankings?
No, I like it. Good. I wouldn't change it.
Keep up the good work, O.
Thank you.
All right. As advertised, we want to talk about this, Penny. Didn't have a hole in it this weekend.
Right.
Rashaad Penny, the much maligned Rashaad Penny. If you follow Renault Laurent on social media, you'll know that he's really had some choice comments about Rashaad Penny.
Yep.
And I remember one conversation I think you were having with Deron Woods, and Deron Woods was saying, "Oh, so unfair! You can't really judge him because he's been injured." And you're like, "Yeah, that's why I'm judging him, because he can't get on the field. He can't get on the field."
Yeah.
So Pep, yesterday he ripped it up against the hapless Texans, and 16 carries for 137 yards and 2 touchdowns. 8.6 yards per carry. What say you, Pat?
Yeah, that's outstanding. Yes, the first thing people say is, okay, he did it against the number 32 defense, the Houston Texans. But hey, look, they're in the NFL too, right? They're pros. Yep. They're just the worst of the best. That's all. Yep. But I'll say this. If he was going to have a great game, that was the game he should have a great game, and he did. Okay, so great. Now, next week, they play the Rams. If he gets 16 carries and gives me 60 yards, now I'm not asking for 130. I'm asking for 16 for 60 yards, so that's about 4 yards a carry. Then I'll say, you know what? Penny might be okay. He might be the guy because he's been injured. He might be the guy they actually been looking for all this time. If he can do that next week, then I'll say, all right, because the Rams are formidable defense, of course, we know. So, that would convince me if he can do that. So, I'm not asking, like I said, I'm not asking for over 100. If he gets over 100, that's great. But I'm asking for 16 carries, 60 yards.
Okay. So in order for him to get 16 carries, they got to get first downs on offense. That's
right.
That's the other side of that whole deal. And
you got to figure
issue also
carries, they can get first down.
What were you saying, Pep?
I was saying yes, because if he gets 4 yards a carry, that's first down territory. Because you're talking the first 2 carries, 8-9 yards.
Yeah.
So they'll be third and short.
Yeah.
So they should get first down.
Well, that's not necessarily true because it was 3rd and 2, and them dudes ran a sweep.
I'm just saying on average, though.
They ran a sweep yesterday and ended up -2. I'm like, what kind of play call was that on 3rd and 2?
Yeah,
run a toss sweep? Who do we think we are?
Right.
We were dreaming if we thought we was getting them 2 yards running a toss sweep with that line. And that was my point. I don't know how much of it was Seattle's O-line dominating Texas's D-line, right, as it was Rashaad Penny. The O-line enabled him to get to the second level.
Yeah.
And once he got to the second level, he did show his running prowess after he got to the second level. His problem has been when he can't get to the second level.
Yeah.
Right? And choosing the right hole to run through.
Right.
That's what his problem has been. And so will he have running lanes against the Rams is the question. And I'm not decided on whether or not the Seahawks O-line has turned any kind of corner and they're able to now, after, 15 weeks? After 15 weeks that they're now able to run block against the Rams defense.
Right. And that's my point. If I want to see that next week, to tell me that Penny is who that Pete Carroll and everybody says he is.
Yeah, that's your post to the Seahawks fans that were lauding Rashaad Penny. Your post was keep that same energy next week against the Rams.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, do you have thoughts on this, Stitch?
No, like I said, I think
I said what?
It was definitely. I feel like a mix of both. I mean, Rashaad Penny is a good running back, just like you guys said. It's just somebody who can't stay on the field. So it was a bright spot just to be able to see him work. It just so happened to happen against the worst rushing defense in the NFL. So yeah, let's see if he can run it back and be productive next week. And it's not gonna just be on him though. The offensive line has to make a push like they did last Sunday. But it was definitely nice to see Rashaad Penny though have a good game. Definitely.
Yep.
Yeah, I think in college he had 12 games over 100 yards, and 6 games of those 12 were over 200 yards with a high of 253.
Woo!
So the dude can run. The issue is him being able to stay healthy, because we remember his start against the Arizona Cardinals this year. He ripped off a 20-yarder, and we didn't see him for the rest of the game.
Right.
Right? His first carry, he ran for 20 yards and was done.
Yep.
With a hamstring injury.
Yep.
And so, or growing or something. And so his issue is staying on the field. And if he can stay on the field, if the Seahawks can run block and give him some holes to run through, that makes the life of a running back much easier.
Yeah.
If he can pick a hole and be able to run through that hole. And he's got speed. That's one thing he does have. I mean, he ran away from some people yesterday. Like, bye. So that's good to see. And I would say that Pete Carroll's philosophy is to run the football. And the issue that we've had over the years is that we have not had anybody that can run the football and stay healthy whose name wasn't Marshawn Lynch.
Right.
And so since Marshawn Lynch, we've been struggling, and every season we lose a boatload of running backs. And even now, the only 2 healthy running backs that they have are Rashaad Penny and DJ Dallas. And the rest of them are injured.
Right.
And Alex Collins, he gets injured every week too.
Yes.
And so Penny staying healthy. I don't know what they'll do. Well, I guess they signed a guy to the practice squad, or brought him up off the practice squad, Jerome Johnson or something. I think his name was. I'm not sure.
Don't forget Adrian Peterson.
Adrian Peterson had some kind of mysterious injury. He was in civilian clothes or Seahawks sweats on Sunday. And so I don't know if he'll be healthy for the Rams game on Sunday. But looks like the Rams are going to beat the Cardinals. They're up 30-20 with 4 minutes left to go in the game or so. So I'm actually glad about that. That'll bring the Cardinals to 10-3 and the Rams at 9-4. So yeah, Rhonda Dorsey, looks like my wish happened, but it ain't over till it's over. Somebody could fumble. They can get an onside kick, field goal and a touchdown and win it. Stranger things have happened in NFL.
Oh boy.
Like, did you see the game last night with Chicago and Green Bay?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I did see the end of it. I saw the one play. Like, I wasn't watching the game. I was in a room with people who were all talking, and the game was on, so I wasn't really watching. But I did watch the one play where the dude muffs the punt, and the dude, it bounces right into his hands, and he runs into the end zone.
Yeah.
But the dude on his team ran out of bounds, on the punt, and it got called back.
Yeah.
Was that crazy?
Yeah, and plus they said he didn't try to get back in time, but he got right back on the field. I don't know what they're looking for.
I know he got pushed out of bounds too, so I thought that was a weak call. But here's another thing, and we got to go. The NFL must hire referees full-time and let that be their full-time job. There's no reason why the NFL, with all the money they make, the most popular sport in America, should have part-time referees. They all need to be full-time, go to camp together, learn what they're supposed to call and how they're supposed to call it, and have some uniformity to what they're doing. And
totally.
That's all we have. Thank you, Pepster. Thank you, O. You guys are a great pair of dudes to hang out with every Monday night. I appreciate you very much. And thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for chiming in on the chat. And we will see you next week with Lil O and Pep as they get down like they get down and don't need me. So I'm just giving them all the opportunities they need to not have me. Y'all be safe. Thank you, Rhonda. And we'll see you next time on LidLine Sports. Sports as we see it from.
So I live.
Holla.
I go to work like a doctor when I rock the mic.